Hello and welcome to Game Boy Advance Classics. In this installment, the game is Super Mario Advance 2, Super Mario World. Released in 2002 by Nintendo, this is a conversion of one of the very best games of all time, which was Super Mario World, a launch title for the Super Nintendo. More than just a port of Super Mario World, this game has some enhanced features that make it slightly better than the original Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. And that's really quite a feat, considering that Super Mario World is, widely considered to be one of the very best games of all time. This new intro shows, how Princess Toadstool got kidnapped this time. Apparently, Mario and Luigi were out for a balloon picnic with them, or picnic with her, and then Bowser came and kidnapped her while they were out flying around and being dumbasses. So here it is, Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 2. So once again, it has both Super Mario World, the main attraction, and Mario Brothers if you wanted to play the original arcade version enhanced for the GBA.
Here we go.
So otherwise, this is completely the same game as the original 1990 masterpiece by Nintendo. The one thing that's really different here is the audio. The GBA just does not have the ability to pump out the same sound as the Super Nintendo. So when it came to converting Super Nintendo music to the Game Boy Advance, unless they took extreme caution and extreme care, the conversions would never turn out well. Now, because this is a single-player game as opposed to the original game which could be played two-player alternating, you can now play as Luigi under single-player.
Luigi, let's go.
Luigi plays like he plays in Super Mario 2 or Mario USA, with his floaty jump and, more difficult gameplay to control him. Also, voice samples are added in, just like the original Mario Advance game, although, personally, I wish they didn't add them in, because they don't add anything of any value, and they can be extremely annoying. Fortunately, they aren't as annoying as they were in the first Mario Advance game, which was Mario 2. And that's because, thankfully, Toad is not in this game. As the original Game Boy Advance did not have a backlit screen, the display was considerably brightened up, the contrast here, and that was done to make it, easier to see on the non-backlit Game Boy screen, so you could play it, in pretty much any environment. As long as you could kind of see the screen, this game would be very playable because, the screen would be very bright. Unfortunately, when you're playing it on a TV, as I'm doing here, the contrast does not help. I wish that there was a way to turn it down. This was adjusted in a ROM hack that did just that, but since we're not playing the ROM hack, since we're playing the original retail version here, we're stuck with, the super contrast version. I played this game when I was just a little kid.
Let's go.
And back then, I called this place here, which is the Switch Palace, I would always call this place the Switch Place, because, I couldn't properly read palace. That's not a word that a little kid would know, I guess. And even to this day, when I see this place, the Switch Palace, I was like, oh, that's Switch Place. Oh, it's Switch Palace. You know, that's what you get when you play this game in your first 5. There it is. Switch Palace, not Switch Place. I always say this would be Switch Place. Alright, send out the yellow blocks around the world. Probably kill many creatures with floating blocks that fall down from the sky. And now we're going to play as Mario.
Let's go.
Grab a turtle shell and... Boo. That's not right. Get Yoshi! Hooray! Something new that you couldn't do in the original Mario world is now you can push Yoshi around. You were never able to do that originally. It's not a big deal or anything, but it's just saying, it's just one of those things that they added into this conversion. Also, the type font is not all screwed up with these giant spaces. I want Yoshi and boom. Collect the dragon coin, collect Yoshi. Go down the warp pipe. Fling up, fling up. I said fling up. Or you can use these blocks and fling them up. A Super Mario World was based around 3 different buttons. You had your, your jump, you had your run button slash, your Yoshi tongue button slash fireball button, and you also had the ability to spin jump. As the Game Boy Advance only has 2 face buttons, it uses the R button as the other one, as the A button, the SNES A button to use your spin dash. Or spin jump, I should say. Fire flower, thank you. Super Mario World is one of the very best Mario games ever made, and on the Game Boy Advance, this was certainly not a game that I was disappointed to see ported over. I played this game extensively when I was a kid, and when it came to the Game Boy Advance, I was very happy to play it again. I can go back and play the original game, like it's the first time I've ever played it. It's such a fantastic, ageless classic. Yoshi's a beast. Oh, Yoshi, come back. Come back. Alright. Star power. let's do the castle. At the castle, you have to leave Yoshi behind, because I guess it would make it too easy if you could take Yoshi in with you. Whoops. I always thought this was a really cool effect. And I can remember as a kid just going and doing this endlessly. Alright, Iggy Koopa. Whoops. Now, also, you can check your progress, as you can see which stages you've completed with all of the coins, and who you completed them with. So let's save and quit, and because it so as often gets overlooked, let's talk about the Mario Bros. Game.
Mario Brothers.
The Mario Brothers arcade game, originally released in 1983, has been ported around, to a bunch of different systems. But the Game Boy Advance versions that are included in all 4 of the Mario Advance games, this is a fantastic port of this game. What makes it so fantastic is that Nintendo bothered to completely remake it. The controls are perfect for it, the visuals are just outstanding, the game looks great, and it plays great. This is the best version of Mario Bros. Arcade that there has ever been. And the game is small enough that it can actually be played multiplayer with other players, that all you need is one copy of the game and somebody else who has a Game Boy Advance but doesn't actually have another cartridge. This game is small enough to be transferred to the Game Boy Advance's internal storage and to be temporarily played multiplayer when it's downloaded to the system's temporary SRAM. There are very few Game Boy Advance games that you could say that about, and I remember when I was in high school, would play this with some other guys in my class, and we'd play, some Mario Brothers arcade only one of us would have, you know, a copy of the game, but, you know, we'd have a link cable, and those of us who had a Game Boy Advance with no cartridge in it would be able to play this game multiplayer. Awesome, really. As the controls are so improved, this is actually makes it almost pointlessly easy that you can complete this within the time limit. Oh no, I'm not going to succeed. Oh yes, I am. Try doing that in the Commodore 64 version of the game. Well, anyway, that'll about do it for this video. I just want to give you guys just a little preview of this awesome game here. Let's hit the plow box, because why not? Whoops. See you next time.